In this video, we're going to take a look at reading from multiple regions in an Excel worksheet using Liquid Data Mapper. Let's assume we have an Excel worksheet that looks something like this. The worksheet contains 3 tables, one for each salesperson. We want to combine this data into a single XML file. The easiest way to work with regions within an Excel worksheet is to create a table for each region. This can be done by selecting the cells in a region using the Insert Table option. You can then name the table using the Formula Name Manager option. You could also use named cell ranges instead of tables. Now let's create a new data mapper file and import the data from the Excel file. As you can see, the tables we created in the Excel file appear in the import list. We will select Fred table. Here we can see the column names and data types. Our target will be an XML file. This is based on sales list XSD. We can also select an output file. Inside the Excel reader, we have a row. Inside there, we can see the various columns for each row. In the writer, we can see the XML elements that will be written out. Each row represents a sale. It's got a date, a description, and a total. One item missing from our data is the name, so we will add a constant. Which will be a simple string with the value Fred. Executing this transform will give us the Fred sales in XML format. In order to add the other 2 salesperson data, we need to add 2 more Excel reader components, selecting the appropriate table for each. As we can see, the outputs are already connected to the first Excel reader. So what we need to do is duplicate the output node sale. We can then link up the other reader. When we've linked up the other readers and run the transform, we can now see all of the sales combined into the single XML document. If we add an additional item to the Excel spreadsheet, when we rerun the transform, we can see the new item is automatically added. Going back to our original spreadsheet, if it is not possible to modify it, Then the Excel data sources within the data mapper transform can be defined using custom ranges. As we can see, as there are no tables or named ranges defined, we only have the option to select the entire worksheet. However, we can change the data source to be a custom range, and we can simply type in the worksheet an area we wish to retrieve data from. At this point, it's important to consider what happens when data is added or removed from the worksheet. If we select Dynamically Expand Range, then the range of cells selected dynamically changes depending on the data in the workbook, starting on the first row and moving down until an empty row is encountered. If this option is not selected, then the range of cells selected is fixed. Adding and removing rows will result in the data source returning the same number of rows into the data mapper. This is useful when you're loading fixed lookup values, but not for dynamic data. Again, we can see the columns and the data types. Again, we have a row node, which represents a sale, and the various column data. If we run the transform, we can see the same data is retrieved. Going back to our Excel spreadsheet, if we alter the data to add additional rows, and we have selected Dynamically Expand Range, the fourth item will be included, but the fifth item will not be, as we have a blank line in between. If Dynamically Expanded Range was not selected, we would have just returned the original 3 rows. For more help with the Liquid Data Mapper and other Liquid Technologies products, please see our website. Thank you.